Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I'm actually sick. I tried to do this yesterday, but I was very sick and super weak and fatigued from an illness that I got from my kids, unfortunately. So here I am with my voice the way it is, and I'm going to roll with this. So, what I want to say up front are several things. The first thing I want to say is please, any of you that are hearing this, watching this, I ask you and I beg you to share this with as many possible people as you can. I'm going to show you some incredible stuff. Whether everybody sees it or not, that's another thing. But I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to be incredible, and it's awesome evidence. Okay, I'm going to try to rule out as much evidence as I can so you can see it, okay, as clear as possible. And that's why I spent a lot of time on this, okay. And I'll ask you also, as many of you as possible, please get this. I have some friends that have YouTube channels, and they're going to mirror it on their channel, play this video on their channel. If you have anybody that's interested in doing that, if you could even petition some people that have channels to play this, because everybody needs to know about the attack day that's coming on July 4th and 5th, okay? And now listen, I think it's going to happen. I've said for a long time I'm speculating, but now I'm saying I'm not. I'm not saying thus saith the Lord. I'm not saying the Lord saying it's definitely going to happen. It is a small chance in my mind that it won't happen, but like I'm going to show you, the evidence is pretty profound, and hopefully you see that. And another thing I want to say is I have two twins here, the twin births that represent all this, which is crazy, and they might start crying. You might hear them. I might have to pause the video at times to kind of get them in order, and my wife is working on that, of course, as well as whatever we can do here. So just letting you know about that. So they're kind of watching this with me as well as I'm doing this. So I want to share this with my family as well at the same time. Some things I've already shared, but okay. So I think that's enough for a preface. So about 4 years ago, and it's funny, it was about July, I had a dream, and I'm going to kind of share a little bit that some people haven't heard, maybe, if you haven't watched my channels, and do as much as I can with that. So I had a dream, and I was basically in a McDonald's, and I had two friends with me, and they were on the other side, and this is the best representation I could find. And on the tray, I saw somehow 923, America is laid low. Okay, without getting into all the dream, I couldn't believe. I'm like, what does that mean? I woke up. I'm like, one friend could see it, and the other friend could not on the tray and everything. And I woke up and I'm like, what does that mean? I don't use the term laid low. Is that Old English? Is that from the Bible? Whatever. So without getting to everything, I'm going to go to the next thing. So a few months after I started doing YouTube videos, the Lord also gave me another dream, and Jesus was right there, right next to me, and he walked up to me and he said, whispered in my ear, 923 is 623. And then I was like, oh my goodness. So for a long time, I did not know what 923 was. I thought maybe it's 923 because that was July of 2015. And then it was crazy because God showed me after Barack Obama and the Pope met that they were basically the Antichrist and the false prophet sealing a deal for the end of America by meeting in America, by the Pope speaking in Congress, and that was all symbolic and everything. And that was 923:15. And so I thought that may be something. And then we had a couple years later the Revelation 12 sign on 923:17. And that was pretty crazy too. And I'm like, what? And then, so as I started looking into Revelation 12 sign, among other things I was really researching since July of 2015, I found all kinds of amazing stuff, and I've been really fascinated by the Revelation 12 sign and that it was from God. And I'm going to share a lot of things about that. I've shared a lot of things about that. I'm going to share one main thing, among some other things, that is phenomenal that the Lord recently showed me. That is the key. It's like the key to a map. It's like the key to a puzzle, and the key to a lock. It's going to unlock a lot of things. Okay, so 923 is 623. What does that mean? Okay, first in Proverbs 25:2 it says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter." And so God conceals truth. He conceals things he wants people to know in different ways. And sometimes he uses codes and different things. It's in the Bible. It's all over. Okay, so he's done it different ways. I'm going to show you how he's done it in this situation. Okay, so we have the Revelation 12 sign. Okay, I shared this in my last video, but I want to recap a few things. Also, if you haven't had a chance to watch my last video, part 2 of the twin birth, iPad Go 2 solved, the twin birth, 92363, then watch this, at least the second part 2, before you watch this. If you're able to, that's great. If not, it just gives you more information I'm not going to cover here. So, from when Jupiter entered Virgo, okay, right here, okay, right here, and I actually watched it happen, okay, till the time it exited, and it just happens to exit between her legs, which is amazing. It did retrograde motion back and forth in here like a baby moving around, and then basically roughly 9 months later it exited. Now, I was always wondering, I was thinking this is very important, that it was 293 days that Jupiter was in Virgo. Okay, there's several things about this whole Revelation 12 sign and the Jupiter entering and exiting and all that stuff that are extremely significant. And this is absolutely real. This is God's sign, and I'm going to prove to you another reason why this is God's sign. So first of all, you see the 293 days, and that is a version of 923. It's 9 in the middle of 23, so that's kind of crazy. Okay, but what's even better than that is in the Bible, there's a prophetic year, and that's really highlighted in Revelation. Okay, and it's talked about as different forms, like 42 months, times, and half a time, which is, half a year, which is half of the, 3.5 years of a prophetic year, which is a 360-day time period. Okay, so if you have a 30-day month and of course, a 12-month prophetic year, then you have, for example, 9 months equal 30 days apiece, so that's 9 times 30 is 270 days. Then you add 23 days to that, you have 293 days. So God was showing in the Revelation 12 sign that 923 is his, or 923 is his number. Okay, I'm sorry, only God could have had Jupiter go inside there. And by the way, Virgo is really the Virgin. And if you go around the constellation, it's all about the story of Jesus first being born in the Virgin, and then all the way around to Leo, which is all, and that's the Alpha is the Virgin, and the Omega is Leo, and he is the Lion of Judah, not Leo. This is all, astrology or whatever. So, but the enemy's ripped off what God has put in the stars. Okay, and that's in several Christian books. Witness of the Stars is one that pops out right now. There's several other books that you can see this, but it's crazy because Witness of the Stars by E.W. Bullinger really shows the message in it, in all the constellations. It's really well done. Okay, so 9 months and 23 days is 923. Okay, there's so much here I could talk about, but I'm not gonna. Okay, so Hurricane Hector, like I said in my last video, okay, Hector equals restrainer. And in 2 Thessalonians 2:6-7, and you know what is restraining him now, so that he may be revealed in his time, talking about the Antichrist. For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains it will do so until he is out of the way. So the restrainer is referred to as a him. And him is the man-child that is going to be birthed in heaven in Revelation 12. Okay? The restrainer. And so in a sense, it's showing a birth. Okay? And restrainer is Hector, for example. Okay. Now Hector formed, like it shows right here, we'll go back right here, formed July 31st. I don't know if you can see that. Some guy requested I change my pointer, but it's a pen that's on a phone, and I can't change it. So it's my S Pen. So anyway, there you go. July 31st, if you can see that right here, formed July 31st. And then July 31st, and add, now remember, God had prophetic years or in months and days and all that, but the enemy is using Gregorian months and days. So add 9 Gregorian months and 23 days, and you get May 23rd. Okay, what's the big deal about that? Well, let me show you. There's a few things. Now, I mentioned in my last video and other videos that these 2 barges hit Weber's Falls. They were supposedly came loose, but they were let loose. This is all a staged thing to show what's coming. Okay, and that was, again, that's showing these hurricanes, and it's kind of a precursor to the birthing that's coming of the Antichrist. So you see these 2 barges. They represent, of course, the flood. They look like arcs. They're white and red, and you see the goat there with the blocks falling down, and those are the scapegoats, which are white, and then you have the sacrificial goat, which is basically blood, okay, and that's what that's showing. And so there's going to be a mass sacrifice of mega tsunamis that hit the east and west coast, like I've said, on these dates I'm going to talk about here, on 4th of July / 5th of July. And this is kind of showing it, in a sense. It's a symbolic. And I did on these watch my past like 3 or 4 videos. Okay, Weber's Falls has tons of gematria, and like I said, this is basically water. They were going to evacuate like 600 residents, and it just so happened to be 600. Noah was 600. It has to do with the flood. I mean, there's so many things. Okay, so basically, if you look at May 23rd, okay, but if I take, let me do this here. So if I took May 23rd, but this is on the Chinese lunar calendar. Is this what I was going to do? I'm trying to remember what I was going to do. So the 5th month of the Chinese lunar calendar, this is the Gregorian right here in the yellow. Okay? And then you look at, but if you convert it to 5 on the Chinese lunar calendar, and then 23 here, it equals June 25th. Okay, and I've talked about it. There might be an event that happens there, but I think even more importantly, what it's showing is basically the birth that came from the hurricane that happened from Hector. Anyway, man, I kind of lost train of thought on that one. Anyway, I'm not sure. I think I missed a slide here, but I'm trying to jam all this together. So let me get back to here. So you got Hector. This is what happened in Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is where Obama's supposedly from. Okay, he's not really from there, I'm telling you. Okay, and so Hurricane Lane, actually the etymology of Hurricane Lane means spear. Okay, and like I showed in my last video, it basically formed on August 15th, and then it's shown in iPad Goat. So as you see here, this is the Big Island, Hawaii, and in iPad Goat, it's represented right here. And then this is the iceberg that Osama bin Laden character is on, and it's got a spear, which is the spear right there, and it's going to spear Hawaii. Okay, and that's also representative of what's coming. And there's so much here. It's crazy. So first of all, we have Hector, and then we have spear, and then we have Norman. Okay, and that Norman is basically the North man from the north. And so in this situation, in iPad Goat, Osama bin Laden represents the man from the north. But I think it very well could be Kim Jong-un, or it could be Russia that attacks Hawaii. Either one. I'm more inclined to North Korea, because there's a lot of predictive program with North Korea and Gematria, and a lot of things I've done that come up with Kim Jong-un, North Korea, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so that's the second one, man from the north. So you have Hector, and then you have, you have restrainer, and then spear, and then man from the north. And then you have Olivia, and Olivia means of the olive tree. And I've shared this in my last video, and then at the same time, Olivia was forming, Florence was forming, okay, which means to flower. Okay, now, these are both happening roughly at the same time, on one off the coast of Hawaii and one off the coast of, off the East Coast. Okay, and then I mentioned, and so basically, if you go from August 31st when it formed to 9 months and 23 days later, you have June 23rd. Now again, that's a representation of 623 or 623. Okay, it doesn't mean that's exactly the date. Now I thought it could have been the date. May 23rd could have been the date, but it wasn't. It was another representation, and I'll explain that. Okay, so with the girl, that's the Lily, that's in front of the 12 figures, she has the apple, and this shows her, looks like she's in pain, and she's actually having a baby, okay, and she's birthing this. Now right here, as I've shown in many videos, this is a 6, okay, and it's kind of hard. I'm not going to show it up close right now, but it's basically a 6, and then upside down is 2 and 3. It's 6, 2, 3. So what I'm saying is, I thought it might have been 6/12, June 12th might have been this day, because, and I'm going to get into that at some point, but it's really June 12th. It actually is June 23rd. It actually is June 23rd, 6/23 is when this apple falls, and that's representing his birth. Okay, but we have an actual birthday, which is 11 days later. So she drops the apple because she's in pain and she's having a baby, basically. So here's the apple. It falls. Now, by the way, the apple that she has in her hand is a big apple. It's much bigger than a regular apple. It's a big apple, which represents New York. New York is the big apple. And I've shown in my other videos how this apple, on one side, which you can kind of see over here, is a big tsunami wave. And on this side, I've shown in other videos, is Hawaii upside down on it, kind of hidden a little bit. It also says 923 and 623, which are basically both. Okay, so basically this also, with the stripes and everything, and this spot looks like Jupiter. Look at this. See this? Looks like Jupiter. And Jupiter was born out of the Revelation 12 sign. And she is the Revelation 12 sign. She is a woman clothed in the sun, moon at her feet, 12 stars above her head. That's all. This is the enemy's false depiction of it, birthing Jupiter, which Jupiter is really Nimrod, which is really Osiris, which is really the Antichrist, which is really Obama. Okay, and Obama's right here, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, so the apple falls, and this also, that spot not only represents the spot on Jupiter, which is what's being birthed, it also represents the sun. So we have these are days. So as this falls, this is 1 day, rolls again, 2 days, there's the sun again, and then we have all the way to where it passes the upside down 7. We know it's a 7 because you see the paint stroke here, and then covering up, it goes down like that. So we know it's also LC, which is 12:3. L is the 12th letter of the alphabet, and C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet. 12:3 is Revelation 12:3, which is when the dragon is revealed. But upside down, it's a 7. So when this rolls, and this is Obama's perspective. He's standing right here, and he's looking from this perspective. So it's just from his perspective because it hits his foot, and it's about his birth, being the Antichrist and Lucifer incarnating him. Okay, so, but at this point, when it goes past the 7, we have the 7th sunspot. So that's the 7th day it rolls. Okay, and then basically the 8th day is when it crosses. It shows the 8th when this seed and the apple become 8, but it finishes the 8th day out when it hits his foot. Okay, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to prove that to you with other stuff here. So the 7th and 8th day. So 8th day from June 23rd is July 1st, and I expect something to happen on July 1st. Either just some events, maybe with World War III coming up. It could be Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier destroyed. It could be, that's in the Gulf right now. It could be Orville Dam breaking. It could be Hoover Dam breaking. It could be something about Obama that's pretty big. That's coming out. It's hitting his foot. But everything relates to his birth as the Antichrist. So that's 8. And then it bounces back this way. And how do I know when it stops right here going this way? It's 9. Well, look right here. See this stem right here? Stem? It makes a shadow that looks like an I. Just looks like a capital I. And then on Obama's foot is this little slash right here, which upside down, J.K. Bug pointed out, this is a heart. And this represents, because this is Obama's foot, this represents Meghan Markle. And she's part black. And then this is the British crown. This is Harry. And there's a marriage that happened last year. There's so much in this. And that's her, like, top of her, wedding dress, whatever. Anyway, so there's so much here. But I haven't watched J.K. Bugout's stuff for a while. But that's what he said before, probably one of the last times I watched his videos. So this is I right here. It's very faint, but it's here. This is X right here. So in Roman numerals, I from X is 9. So we have 8 hit the foot. This way it stops. That makes I from X, which is 9th day. Okay. Oop. What happened here? Did I miss this? This thing's freaking out. Hold on. Okay, darn Microsoft. Anyway, okay, I'm back. So what I was trying to say was that's the 9th day, and then when it rolls back this way and stops, then you see the X accentuated without the I, so that's 10. Remember, we had 9 this way, then it stops right here, and that's 10. This is well hidden. This is multifaceted, this whole thing. This was basically, I'm going to have a link in the description box if you haven't watched the iPad Goat 2 video, which, like J.K. Bugout points out, and I completely credit him with even starting me on all this. He understood that this is all a timeline. There's several timelines packed in here, and he got me on the road to eventually find what I found with Jesus' help. Now listen, I'm going to say something very clearly. Jesus has given me these dreams. He's given me a lot of understanding and what I have right now. So if you have anything from this to take away from this, is Jesus is trying to show you this before it happens. He's trying to show you that he is God's son, and he is the answer in your life, especially for what's coming. Okay, the craziness, that tribulation that's coming, all the amazing hard and good stuff that's coming. You need him very badly. Good stuff for the people that are on his side, bad stuff for the people who are not. Okay, it's crazy. So I want to say also right here, when the apple splits on the 11th day, which I missed this slide, but I've shared it many times in my videos, it splits right here. It splits right here, and this is a volcano. This is again Hawaii. This is Kilauea. It splits right here. This is lava coming off like we've seen last year, and then right here is Helena slump. Is the drop off right here. This is the East Rift Zone, and this chunk's going to fall off into the ocean where this exactly split right here. And you can kind of see right here, this is a 9, and there's a 2 and a 3 over here. It's crazy that there's the 9 right there. Anyway, there's a lot in here. It's just really crazy. Okay, so this is roll 10, and then this is 11. How you know this is 11 is right after 10, of course, and this leaf has an 11 on it. 1, 1. See? 11. And then what I think is going on is, and I'm trying to work this out, is that there's 2 more days that these two things grow together, and then they form this flower, which has 25 petals. Okay, and then basically on so 4th of July / 5th of July, and then 7/6 / 7/7 is 2 days later, and that 7/6 is 13. Plus, in 2019, it adds up to 1 and 9 in 2019 adds up to 12, and that's 25 total. 13 and 12 is 25, and that's 25 thing of petals. Plus, it's the year of 12, which is 2019. Anyway, there's a lot with that. So I'm not getting into all that right now, but and so it's probably 2 days later is when this thing forms, and I believe that is an explosion. That is a nuclear bomb, and that's really the flowering of the Antichrist at that time. Okay, so we have Olivia and Hurricane Florence. Now listen, now look at this. So that both of them have significant dates with September 11th of 2018. So this is when Hurricane Florence had peak intensity. It says right here, and it just has to be September 11th. It just happens to be. And I'm going to talk here about Olivia and what's significant about, and I'll prove more stuff about Olivia and it's September 11th. But this is amazing. Okay, so September 11th, okay, add again 9 months and 23 Gregorian days, and you get July 4th. Crazy? Yep, it's crazy, and it's not a coincidence. I'm talking to you about several things that the numbers on these are off the charts. For these things to match like this is pretty much impossible. And what's going to happen is this attack that's happening July 4th and 5th. I'm going to explain at some point why it's the 4th and 5th. Okay. Also, I want to explain why June 23rd and July 4th, okay, and also 5th, but July 4th and June 23rd, what's the difference there? Now, in 1752, our calendar was changed, so there was a Julian calendar that went for quite a while, and then in 1752, that was changed by, I think it was Pope Gregory or something, and that's why it's called the Gregorian calendar. I may have it wrong. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I know it had to do with the Catholic Church. So they changed it in 1750. They changed it earlier, but the United States took it on in 1752. And you see here in September of 1752, we went from September 2nd to September 14th. Okay, that's a difference of 12 days. Okay, but over time, from 1752 to 2019, we gained a day because you have a difference in 365.25 days in a year versus 365.25 to 4 days in a year, depending on the Gregorian and the Julian calendar. They claim that the Gregorian was more accurate, but I don't agree. Okay, so the difference is 11 days. And then we just so happen to have them really focusing on 11/11. So in World War I, November 11th, which is 11/11, apparently World War I came to an end, okay? And that was 11/11, November 11th at 11 a.m. right here, 11 a.m., okay? So it's 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month. And by the way, 11/11/11 adds up to 33, and they're all into 33rd degree Mason. You know, they're into 33. And then this last year, we had all these leaders meet in France, and we have this whole pagan thing on the Champs-Elysees. We have the Arc de Triomphe. We have all these different things. And this was a ritual. And I've seen 11/11 for the past several years. Between me and my wife, we've probably seen 11/11 on a clock like 1,000 times. It's crazy. And we're like, what are you trying to say? Well, I'm going to tell you what it's meaning. Not only are we off by 11 days to the Julian calendar, which explains the difference between June 23rd, which is 623, which is the birth of the Antichrist, and then the other 623, which I want to mention, several other reasons why it is July 4th, okay, is 11 days difference, okay? So if we go from a November 11th, 2018, their last big ritual in France, which has a similar mall, it's a little bit different, it's just as Luciferian is the Washington Mall, which we're about to go on in July 4th. Okay, the difference between then and July 4th is 235 days. Well, does that sound familiar? 23rd of May. Again. 23rd of May again. And that's when Hector hit, and then 9 months and 23 days later is the 23rd of May. It just so happens to be 235 days, the 23rd of May. I wonder why. And then, check this out. Then we have November 11th to July 5th is 236 days, which just so happens to be the 23rd of June. Okay? That's crazy. Now, if you basically, let me show you this here. So, from when these guys formed, right here, August 31st, like I mentioned, and you add 9 months and 23 days, you got June 23rd. Okay, and that's what I've said before. Now, you have, in the iPad Go, you have George Bush caricature looking up exactly at this Masonic owl. It's a symbol of occultic wisdom. Okay, and then we also have Obama looking right at it. And for the longest time, I'm like, oh, what the heck? I know it was occultic wisdom. It's of the night. It's a symbol of evil, basically. It's Molech and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but it just dawned on me when I was thinking about July 4th and where we're going to have it. It dawned on me, we have an owl at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. It reminded me of that. I was like, oh my goodness. What are the chances of that? I mean, I knew about this. Did you know Washington, D.C. is full of occultic symbols, evil Luciferian symbols all over, and is in the basic structure of all of Washington, D.C.? Did you know the District of Columbia means the goddess is named Columbia and is named after a goddess, Columbia? And many, many other things. And this right here, the Capitol, is supposed to represent a pregnant belly. And I'm going to share more with you. But now you look at the Washington here. You've got, this is where the White House is, right here. And it so happens to be, there's a street right here, if you can see it. This is an upside down pentagram. And the White House is right here. Okay, if you didn't know, you need to know. Okay, and see this thing that's missing right here to make the full pentagram? So you have this full pentagram upside down. The point of it is basically at the White House. And this thing's missing. Well, recently, Many Fish pointed out in one of his videos that on May 14th of this year, which is mirroring 1948, May 14th, in their crazy cult thing, the sunrise happened at 9/11, and it went across and finished this pentagram this year, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, this is all over there in Washington, D.C. In fact, Washington, D.C. is actually a separate entity to the United States. It's not even It's completely a sovereign different country, technically. Okay, now, we have, of course, that occultic owl right here, and that's the Capitol building right here. And then we have the mall right here. Okay, then we have a Vesica Pisces right here, these two circles, and that is, I'm going to show you in a second here. And then across here we have the Lincoln Memorial, which they're going to have the 4th of July celebration, so-called, at the Lincoln Memorial. Okay, you have a whole mall here of, let me show you this Vesica Pisces. So these two circles and where they meet here, it's called the Vesica Pisces, and this is an occultic symbol that basically is two circles that, and they both form the I, which is the eye that's in the triangle. It's also the birth canal. If you can kind of see these as legs, and then right here where legs open is a birth canal. It's kind of crazy. I watched births happen. Anyway, I have 4 kids. So anyway, that is basically, you have a male phallic symbol, and then you have a female birth canal. And if you can imagine what this means, it means conception. Okay, and then from the Washington Memorial, there's ritual on July 4th. It's going to basically, it's showing the conception and birth. This is a pregnant belly, this Capitol building. I'm not going to show you a picture of this because I just couldn't, I had too many things to throw together on this presentation. It's crazy. But, if you look inside the Capitol, you'll see, hey, you can look up and you can see the picture of this Washington. He went through the portal and he's in heaven. It's all occultic. It's really crazy and stupid. But this is showing the conception and birth. And they're going to have people gathered right here. It's crazy. And so each presidential inauguration, they go through a whole ritual that's called the raising of Osiris. And each president goes through this, and they do it each time a president is inaugurated. And ultimately, there's a video called The Belly of the Beast that you can check out. Look it up. You can go to, what's that channel, or what's that, not YouTube, but I'm trying to think of the other, Vizio. No, Vizio. Not Vizio. It starts with a V. I can't think of what it's called now. Anyway, you can look up Belly of the Beast. If you want to watch the video, it costs some money, but it's online. And it really explains, by Tom Horn and some other people, this whole ritual. It's really crazy. And so that's what I believe is going to happen on July 4th/5th. And I'm going to share with you what that means. But basically, again, like we had in Revelation 12 sign, we had conception and birth. Okay? And that's what's represented here, without showing you all the things. But that is a male phallic symbol and a female thing happened at the same time. That's also in the Vatican. There's the same thing, a similar thing. It's very crazy. It's in major cities across the world. It's really sick. Okay, so recently, like I mentioned in my last video, Trump, it was a few months ago, but I put it in my video recently. This is in February. He basically said, hold the date. We'll be having one of the biggest gatherings in history, Washington, D.C. on July 4th. It'll be called A Salute to America. Now, hold the date. I did a Gematria on this. And again, for you weird religious people who think that I'm doing Gematria, no, I'm doing Ephesians 5:11, which is exposing the evil. I'm not participating in the evil. I'm not practicing divination. I'm not divining. I'm not doing anything like this. I'm not predicting the future. I'm not doing any of this stuff. I'm basically showing what they do, exposing what they do, so you know their plans. Okay? So, hold the date in Gematria is equal to Windsor, which is the last name of the royal baby that was born, May 6th, which totally has to do with Obama. It's half black, all kinds of stuff. Its middle name is Harrison, the newest royal baby. And I've talked about Michael Jackson in one of my past few videos. Thriller, number 2 album of all time, is 612. By the way, if you add 11 days, which the calendar's off, to 612, you get 623. Imagine that. And then June 6th, Obama signed a Spotify deal with Spotify. It's huge. It's a huge deal to reach 217 million people. He's going to soon be revealed as the Antichrist. And Spotify equals 66, which came out on June 6th. And then check this out. So I pulled up some information on this National Independence Day parade that's coming up. It's going to go from Constitution Avenue, from 7th Street to 17th Street. And I saw some things in this right away. And then 11:45 to 2. And what I saw in this especially in 11:45 to 2, is if you look at it backwards, it's the second. 4 plus 5 is 9, 11. It's the second 9/11. And they show their things in so much. And then we may even have 717 in here, which I think could possibly be 7/7. Some people are talking about 717 right now, and I think that might be when the nukes go off. A lot of people have dreams about nukes. I have. Other people have dreams about nukes going off in the United States, and a lot of Christians have dreams about nukes going off as they go up in the rapture. And so I'm saying right now that the mega tsunamis will probably happen July 4th and 5th, and I'm going to explain that to you soon. And then the nukes will go off possibly 7/6 through 7/7. And I'm going to explain what that means, why I would say 2 days soon. Now, even add more to that, my friend Aaron at Redeemed44, hey bud, I know you're watching this right now, or at some point. He had a dream which is about the tsunami hitting New York, okay? And I won't get into all the details of the dream, but there was a guy in the dream, and he put his hand up, and he had 2 fingers, and on his watch was 4 and 5 were accentuated. And I think that probably means, he thought it might be 2 for the number 2, but I think it possibly means 11, 1, 1, 4, 5, which is technically when this whole thing begins on 4th of July. Okay? And that's my interpretation so far. I may be wrong, but it just hit me just quite right. So, Trump announces 4th of July, and then in parentheses, salute to America. Now, if you do salute to America in Gematria, okay, again, you just look it up in the Gematria. Gematrix.com. It's G-E. You can look anything up yourself. And in fact, I encourage you to go to Gematrix. It's Gematrix.org, I think. I think it's .org or .com. Maybe it's .org. Yeah, wow. Can't remember now. I just do it all the time. I forgot. But you look up 978. It's amazing what you'll find. You'll find so many crazy things that match this number. And again, we're talking about 978 characters, and each letter is basically how English gematria. You have simple gematria, which is A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. But then you have English gematria is every single letter. So, for example, A, you add, is instead of 1, it's 6. And then for every one character, you add 6. So that's how it works. So anyway, I do times 6, sorry. So C is 3, times 6 is 18 right here, for example. And that's the difference between basic or simple gematria and English gematria, which, that's evil, times 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, all this stuff. It's just, it shows you that English language was created by the devil. It's crazy, okay? And gematria is one of the ways they communicate in this language. God came up with a type of numerology that's in Hebrew, and the enemy is completely, counterfeited it with other languages and using it for his purposes. Now, if you look at the gematria for a salute to America, and you just so happen to get Barack Hussein Obama, 978, and then his name also equals, in Jewish gematria, 623. Well, what have I been talking about? 623. And that is the number of his birth. Okay, and that's in Jewish gematria because he's the Messiah, right? He's the false Messiah, of course. Okay, so like I said, if you feel inclined, go to Gematrix or maybe other ones that you might want to check out, but you go to Gematrix, like I mentioned, and put in 978, and you will find some crazy things that equal that. It is like, for example, Make America Great Again equals 978 in English gematria. And that's just by chance? That's just a complete coincidence? No, it's not. And Trump is basically running this thing. So you realize the chance of Trump having a tweet that says salute to America and it equals 978 Make America Great Again? Are you kidding me? And there's just impossible numbers after impossible numbers after impossible numbers. Okay, now I want to talk about another scene in iPad Goat. Now I figure that this must be a scene. This must be about some kind of celebration with fireworks, and I was most inclined to 4th of July. But I thought it could also be, in some of my videos I put it could be the new year, or it could be the Day of the Dead, when they celebrate, like in Mexico and such, and in Central American countries, and they could have some fireworks. But it was most likely the New Year or 4th of July. But I was totally favored for the 4th of July. Now, do you see some numbers in here that kind of sort of stick out? There's some numbers in here, and it just so happens that there's all these numbers are some version backwards, upside down, or both of 623. And I'm going to show you that. And this is going to be 4th of July, 623. Like I showed you, 4th of July, 623. And I'm going to show you more at the end why 4th of July is definitively 623. Okay, so check this out. Remember this flower? Let me go back. It's this color right here. And that's an explosion. That even more supports an explosion. Okay, then we have this big explosion right here. You know what the color this is? This is ultraviolet. And Obama's shown several times, when I showed him looking up at the owl, he had a tassel on, and it is ultraviolet. Okay, and I'm going to show you another spot where he's sitting in a frame, and has color ultraviolet on him. Well, but again, this represents his birth. It's ultraviolet. Okay, and there's ultraviolet right there. I don't say I understand all this, but I'm going to show you the stuff I do understand. So that's that. Okay, anyway, that's what I was going to show you there. Now look right here. Okay, now I don't know if this comes out very clearly. Maybe you can see, if you kind of squint your eyes a little bit, it helps to see a little bit better. But on the right side, I'm going to have you squint your eyes. Now I'm going to trace this out. Kind of. 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 6 is right there. And to obscure this 3 a little bit, there's something written right here. So you can't quite tell completely it's a 3, but I could by just squinting my eyes. Again, squint your eyes. And see how it's kind of broken up right there a little bit? But what is that? What is that there? What's going on there? So it obscures it and doesn't make it super obvious. So you've got to be, if you're demons and you want to put hidden imagery and things and have a multi-layered and everything, you're going to try to obfuscate things. You're going to try to cover up things. You try to make things have double meanings and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show you. So right here, where that, you remember that 3 and that 6 from the 2, 3. So see right here where the 3 is a little bit distorted. You know what it actually is? Check this out. And I'm going to show it, draw it on this side. It's 2. It's kind of in the middle of this 3 right here. And then it's 3. And then it's 6. 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 6 again. 23rd of June. Or 2, 3, 6. Or 6, 2, 3 backwards in a way. Okay? It's all over the place. I'm going to show you another one. And this is a little bit hard to see because there's a few things going on. Like right here, we have a 6. Okay, anyway, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not going to run out because I want to cover it up. But then we also have a 6 right here, 6. Okay, we have a 2, we have a 3. Okay, it's just all in here. You have to kind of take my word for it because it's a little hidden, but I've shown you a couple that are more clear. Now right here, this is, man, I probably blew this up a little bit too much. Hopefully you can see on your screen. But right here is a 6 in light. And it's crazy because right here, this is where that dark 6 was over here. Actually, right here, there's a 6, 2, 3 up here. See, remember I said 6, 2, 3 up here? There's a dark 6, but inside this 6 is a 2. Oh, here, you can see it better on this one. Inside this 6, where it says 6, 2, 3. Inside this 6 is a 2. And you have 2, 3, 6. Do you see that? 2, 3, 6 right there. Hopefully you can see that. And it's all over the place. They're all over each other, superimposed on each other. It's crazy. It's there. I hope you can see it. This probably is blowing up a little bit too much, but hopefully you can see it depending on what screen you have. It is crazy. Okay, so here's another scene in iPad Goat. Okay, this is phenomenal. Right here. This is phenomenal. Okay, so this is the transition slide here. So, okay, this is, I don't know, the Spirit of God must have been on me at this moment sometime because I was going through this And I think I accidentally paused it on this exact frame, in this transition from two frames, from two main scenes, I should say. Okay? And I could not believe what I saw. First of all, for this transitions here, right here, this is representing several things, but this is Hawaii. This is how the big island looks if you go out, which I've been off the coast of Hawaii, snorkeling and different things. This is how Hawaii looks. And there's a storm. This also represents, there's an oil derrick right here pumping, and when lightning comes down, it spells rain. And that's from J.K. Bugout. He found that. But that's when Harvey went, and then it also represents the rain that happened with Lane, and they both were, Rain and Lane, yeah. But Harvey and Lane were around the same time, the same month, but different years. 2017 was Harvey in August. 2018 was Lane, which was pointing to Lane in 2018 in August, same days. It's crazy. But this is Hawaii right here as an island. And then in this transition frame, you have, into the next scene, you have, right where Kilauea is, right here, you have it exploding. And this is all kinds of fire and ash coming off here. Did you see that? Hopefully you see that. Boom, exploding. And then we have this oil drop creating this. And then my wife, I was going through this at one point, and then I was at normal speed, and then she goes, "Oh, I saw a number in there, it looks like." And I'm like, "What?" And I paused it, and I blew it up, and I looked at it, and I could not believe it. And I'm going to show you what it is. But I just want to show you this transition. So in this transition, you see Hawaii right here exploding right there. This is where Kilauea is, represented to the big island off the coast. And like I said, I've been there. It's crazy. And I know that's exactly how it looks from that spot off the south, kind of west of Hawaii. It's really crazy. Okay, so now, it's a little bit more faint now, but it's transitioning. Now, okay, this is before it transitions heavily, fully. But right here, the oil spot goes down, and then it changes into like a 3-2-1. I won't get into all what that is right now. But right here, let me go back here. Okay, so another thing. Okay, so we have Hawaii here, and then guess what? Right here in this scene, and I'm going to show you the full scene at some point. This is looks like a little iceberg thing or something right there. But if you squint your eyes, well, maybe not so much in this scene, but I'll show you in the full scene. This says HI for Hawaii, and it's a little island right here. Now, when you go to this, okay, this is showing, this is Olivia. This oil spot is turning into, this is a hurricane right here, and this is Hawaii. And Olivia was right here on, guess what? In 2018, Olivia was right here, and I'm going to show you this, on 9/11. This is upside down and backwards. Olivia was right here on 9/11. So 9/11. Okay, 9/11 upside down and backwards. And you're like, oh yeah, whatever, sure. You don't believe that? Well, let me show you something else that's pretty crazy that leads you back to 9/11. So right here, I also thought, oh, this is crazy. This looks like 6-7-1. But the 7's backwards, which they do sometimes. Sometimes they do certain things backwards and not other things, or certain things upside down and not other things. Like in 6-2-3 is really 9-2-3. So 6 is upside down from 9, or 9's upside down from 6. And in this situation, 7's backwards. Well, check this out. If you go 671 days, that's my baby, 671 days from 9/11, okay, 2018, which is what this represents, I'm saying, 9/11 upside down, and that's exactly, and I'm going to show you, that's exactly where Olivia was off Hawaii. You go 671 days. Oh, this is the slide I needed to go to. So this is Olivia. This represents a hurricane, spiral kind of thing. Here's Hawaii, HI, it's an island. So 7's back in 1, or upside down 9/1-1. Okay, so you go 671 days. Oh, before that, see right here, this is the forecast showing Tuesday, which was, and then still in Tuesday, right here, boom, still in Tuesday, it'd be like Wednesday right in here, still in Tuesday right there. I didn't have the exact one that shows exact, because I didn't have time to find the exact one, but still Tuesday. Tuesday was 9/11, right there. Tuesday 9/11 was right here, and that's what it shows right there. It's right off the northeast coast of Hawaii, and that's where Olivia was. Now, like I said, if you go from September 11th, when Olivia was there, 9 months and 23 days, you get July 4th. Bam! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, so, like I'm showing you here, 9/11, 671. Okay, now if you go from September 11th, like I said, that's 671 because the 7 was backwards. 671 days. You get November 9th, which is backwards, 9/11. And November 9th was when Trump was technically elected. November 9th. The election went on November 8th, but it went until midnight and passed to November 9th when he was finally elected on November 9th, which is 9/11 backwards. And so there's no question. So then Trump, it's a mystery why Trump would be associated with July 4th. Because July 4th, Trump says, hold the date. Come here with salute to America, which actually means Barack Hussein Obama, which is the Antichrist. And I'm going to be a false leader to lead you here. Okay, it's crazy. And I'm going to show you at the end of my presentation why Trump is a false leader. And it's in iPad Goat, which J.K. Buggout originally found. But I'm going to show you some other stuff that'll blow your mind. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 671 days, the 7's backwards, is November 9th. That's insane. And Donald just so happens to equal 11/9, which is the day he was elected. It's all chance. It's all random. It's no coincidence that there's no word for coincidence in the Bible, and there's no word for coincidence in Hebrew or in Jewish language, and it's in Jewish Gematria. Okay, now this is the final scene which it transitioned to from the oil dripping. Again, let me go back to this really quick because I thought about this for a second. We had these different events that happen in the Strait of Hormuz, and this actually, this where this water is right here represents the Strait of Hormuz, and I believe oil is going to be cut off starting World War III. We've already had 2 oil tankers hit in the Strait of Hormuz, and we had a American drone supposedly, I think these are all false flags, hit over the Strait of Hormuz, which is signaling in iPad Goat. By the way, iPad Goat was made in 2012, but it took 5 years to make. So it was actually, technically, all this stuff was known in 2007. And I'm going to show you where Trump is in iPad Goat. Again, found by J.K. Buggout. But I'm going to show you more stuff. I'm going to go past here again, because this is not scripted, but the slides are somewhat. Anyway, so we have New York. So this is why it's over 2 days, because we have New York. Remember, the apple is New York, the big apple, and on the apple and all is the volcano that shows, but also it's upside down is Hawaii written on it, which I didn't show you in the video because it takes too long. I have in other videos, but it's represent New York and Hawaii. Now remember, this is that smoke and ash plume that comes off that island of Hawaii. So there's a message in here. As you can see, there was a 6 or a 9 right here. Either way, 2, 3. Okay. Then we have, this is 9 o'clock. And I'm going to show you that more up close. And then we have New York. Okay. We have upside down 9. Right here's a 9. That's this hole in the center of the 9, or 6 backwards. Then we have 2, and then we have 3. Let me show you this. And again, we have Hawaii. Now squint your eyes. Here you can see HI. It's crazy how squint your eyes actually works. And then right here, this dark area, which J.K. pointed out himself a while back, this is a tsunami wave. And notice how it's kind of touching Hawaii first. I believe these are basically at the same time, but it's showing Hawaii, I believe, because Hawaii is the first in as far as time sequence. And I'm going to show you this. Okay, so in a little bit later in the scene, this Star of Molech, which people call Star of David, which is really Star of Molech, or Rapham, shows up, and that orients this to 3 o'clock. And it's a little bit after 3 because you have the tick mark of 3. This is up and down. This is a little bit after 3 o'clock, and that has to do, of course, with New York, obviously. And then across from it is 6:23. Well, I'm going to show you that in a second here. Okay, but let's start with Hawaii. So again, I'm going to show you again. That's 9, or it's a 6 upside down and sideways. 2, 3 right here. Okay, and then right here we have this right here, which is like a hand on a clock, but it's also in the shape of a 9, and it's pointed to the left. We're at 9 o'clock. There's the tick of 9, and there's the tick of 10. and it's just after 9. It's just after 9. Just like this is just after 3. Okay? Boom. Here it is up close. So we have like a hand of a clock, and then again associated with Hawaii because that's the explosion that you saw. And that's 9 on, again, this is oriented. Look, this is oriented just like this. See, the star is orienting this as well. This is very multi-layered. This is done by demons in people that create artwork and movies and all kinds of stuff and have hidden messages like 923 and tons of movies, TV shows, videos, and even 623 all over the place. Both of them, which is really the same thing. It's the birth of the Antichrist. Okay, so there's the 9, very close up. And then upside down is, again, the New York thing. But look, check it out. See this 3 right here? There's a 3 right here. So that, again, is 3 o'clock. 3, there's a hidden 3 upside down. Like they said, they hide things upside down and backwards. And then here we go. 9, so you can see a little bit better. 9, right here, 9. 2 with a little tail right there. 2, 3, right there. 2, 3. These are all Jesus finds that Jesus has shown me. All Jesus finds. Not my finds. Jesus finds through me. Okay, now. Okay, wait, before I do that. Now, I'm going to go back to this thing here. Okay, so what I'm saying is, this tsunami is going to basically hit both areas at the same time. The same moment in time. They're going to coordinate these strikes through nuclear subs. And that's Obama's foot. And I forgot to really show that for sure. But it's Obama's foot that's right by as a split. And both halves of the apple represent East Coast and West Coast. And both are going to be shot at the same time. I don't want to go back to it. Anyway, so it's little after 9 p.m. on, and by the way, that's 4th of July, a little after 9 p.m. on the 4th of July, which is right around the time they're going to do fireworks, which is crazy. Typically, the fireworks are from 9 to 9:30, somewhere in there. Most places, that's when it gets dark, and that's crazy. So if you can imagine, you're in Hawaii, and Kilauea is going to blow right when fireworks go off. That is so sick, but that's them. That's sick. And then on the next day, technically, even though it's the same moment, but it's 6 hours difference in time zone, on the East Coast is going to be a little after 3. Okay? And that also represents all of the United States, from Hawaii to the East Coast. So it's an attack on the United States. And it's a tsunami. And again, remember Olivia and Florence were off the coast of Hawaii and the East Coast. And they were in the water causing waves and such, big waves, which represent tsunamis. And then guess what? In a couple of days, they both hit land, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And then on land, we'll have nuclear attacks in a couple of days. That's what I'm saying, okay? Okay, man. All right, so I'm going to go to this now. This is a dream by a, some of you know about this, 8-year-old Swedish boy. And I remember seeing this video, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And his father mistranslated. He's a Swedish guy. These are Swedish people, and he knows some English, but he mistranslated. And the boy said that it was this. He thought the boy said it. He translated as the boy said it was this Friday, but he just said Friday at that time. That was back in 2018. By the way, the boy. This transcript comes from when the boy said it on March 29th, 2018. And March 29th backwards is 923. It's crazy. Okay, so this boy said this. And this is, I got this from my brother Tim Foster at Tim Foster 405, who's uncovered a lot of great truths, who's talked about Planet X, which I've talked about, which is coming. That's the second sign in Revelation. It's actually 12:3, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, which is the dragon, which is Obama. And that's why 12:3 is on Obama, and I'm going to show this all to you. So anyway, this boy said, and this back in March 29th of 2018, he said, this is a better transcript of someone who actually knows Swedish and can better translate it to English than the father did. And I'm going to try to get a link to this transcript, and even the video in the description box. But just bear with me, I'm going to do it when I can. I got to figure out how to do this, and then I got to go get the video and everything. Sometimes it might be another day, because I have a full-time job that's like 12 hours a day, and it's really crazy. And then we got family and twins and and I'm doing this. It's crazy. I'm trying to get this out to you. So the boy said about his dream on Friday, it was like this. that we were, and now this is all translated, so it doesn't sound exactly, that we are at home, and then at 7 a.m. everybody will come to this mountain, but not on the mountain, but on sand. I haven't drawn so much here, and he was drawing pictures. There was no room, and then and there it will be in Egypt. So we'll be taken somewhere at his time, Swedish time, at 7 a.m. to Egypt. And then we're talking about the people who walk with Jesus, who know him and know this is coming. Those are the faithful. It's the bride of Christ, not the Christians and not anybody else, not the Christians who are not following him or unfaithful, who go through the tribulation. And then when all are asleep or something, they will all become awake. Then the mountain will start to crumble. Okay, so some people are going to be sleeping during this time, and Jesus is going to translate them or give them a vision of this. I'm not sure. Okay, Dad asked to confirm at the earthquake. Apparently the boy nods because Dad adds crumbles at the earthquake. And there will be no snow on it. I just have drawn it as a regular classic mountain. You know, a lot of mountains you draw with little snow on caps, but it's not really. Apparently the boy was discussing the nature of his drawing. And after that, when everything has crumbled, fallen apart, the whole mountain will be in 1,000 pieces. But then we will get, so basically we will come back and we will get 2 hours and 2 minutes to run to all the others and warn them and say it was God, Yeshua. And then 2 hours have passed, and then we will come home and we will be like completely normal day on Sunday, because this is Friday. So anyway, and then I want to say here, then on Sunday then comes our snatching away. Then the snatching away will occur. And then at the snatching away, if we are in houses, it would be like this. At first, one is light, one feels it, and wants to start to float away. And I'm not going to get into all this. I'm going to try to get a link to you. Okay, so what he's saying is, I'm going to draw this. This is crazy. This matches up completely with what I'm saying. And he confirms what I'm saying. This is so crazy. The time and day hit exactly. Now, I've been considering that this might be true, what the boy said. Okay, and I realized at first I thought it seemed like the father said it was that Friday from that day, and then I knew, okay, that's not true. But I thought when I got the transcript from Tim Foster that it wasn't that Friday, he just said on Friday, a Friday. Then I considered, so then I worked back from his time at 7 a.m. Swedish time to my time. That would be a Thursday at 10 p.m. Oh, sorry, 11 p.m. Mountain time. I'm in Mountain time. That'd be Thursday at 11 p.m. And I always had it at the back of my head for like a year, or it's been more than a year now, year and a half almost now, almost, well, more than a year anyway, that if there's a date I'm looking at, maybe it'll kind of sync with this, maybe. And I thought it might be true, but I didn't put a lot of stock in it. But I thought, you know, it's an 8-year-old boy. He's got some virtue. He's not corrupted by the world. When I heard it, it sounded like it could be true, and I think I got from the Lord that it was true somehow. But I just didn't want to believe it. I don't want to really trust that people will have the truth sometimes, and they could be corrupt, especially when it comes to prophecy and stuff about the future. I'm very skeptical about that unless people are right, and then they say something about the future after they've all been right several times. So I always had that in the back of my mind. So then I have this date of 4th of July. 4th of July is on a Thursday, which Thursday is the day for me. Thursday at 11 would be my time versus his time. Now check this out. This is crazy. So if it's 7 a.m. like he said, and then he'd have 2 hours and 2 minutes. Okay? 7 a.m. And then if you translate that to East Coast time. So East Coast time is 6 hours earlier. Then you have 1 a.m. Okay? 6 hours earlier is 1 a.m. Well, remember that what I showed you and the evidence I have, which is several things, that's going to be a little bit after 3 a.m. Well, if you add his time to go warn people to 1 a.m. on East Coast, it ends up being 3:02 a.m. And I said that it would be a little after 3. I showed you where it shows a little bit after 3 and a little bit after 9. Isn't that crazy? It hits the exact day and time. He has 2 hours, 2 minutes to warn people of what? The crumbling. He saw an example of a mountain crumbling. And there's going to be, by the way, just so you know, there's going to be massive mega tsunamis that hit both east and west coast. And there's going to be earthquakes that cause because of it. Because of the massive displacement of water And already the Cascadia subduction zone and different parts of California and the West Coast have already been tremoring like crazy. And this is going to be enough to put them over the top. It's been slow slipping over there. We got Dutch synths. We got all kinds of people that are talking about it. And I've been researching it for the last 2 years. It's prime for earthquake to go off. And we're talking about above 9.0 and maybe some people are saying 12.0 or bigger, like we've never seen before, okay? And then on the East Coast, we might see the New Madrid go off, okay, which is in from the East Coast. It's actually, in from the East Coast, but that might cause it to go off. So anyway, and again, you had a mountain crumbling. So we might be shown that a mountain's going to crumble because of an earthquake. And he said an earthquake? The Father said yes. So earthquakes can be caused, not only we're going to have tsunamis that go inland a couple miles at the most and kill millions of people worldwide, because I believe these tsunamis are going to be coordinated with the United States, and it shows my iPad Go, London, I think, and Tokyo for sure, maybe other places, okay, which I think it shows, and I don't get into all that, I've talked about it before, okay, and that's going to cause earthquakes. So hopefully you understand this. He said 7 a.m. Swedish time, so if you knock that off to East Coast time, it's 1 a.m., okay? And then you add his warning time of 2 hours and 2 minutes. It ends up being 3:02 a.m., which is what I said a little after 3, and I showed you on iPad Go where it shows it. Few places. And it's also on 2018 Economist magazine. There's a clock. If you zoom down into the clock tower, which is really Big Ben, but it shows a little after 3. There's several things I showed watch my last 2 videos before this, part 1 and part 2 of the twin birth, and you'll see the graffiti that looks like Psalm 23, but really it says Obama 623, lightning falling from heaven, and then it shows 3 a little after 3 a.m. Watch that video. So you see more evidence a little after 3 a.m. in iPad Goat. It's crazy. Hopefully you get this, what I'm saying. And then both Florence and, sorry, my throat's cracking because I've been sick and my throat, again, it's just messed up. My voice is messed up. So okay, so Hurricane Florence and Olivia on Hawaii, over Hawaii, they made landfall, or they started touching land on the 13th into the 14th is technically landfall for both of them. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe 2 days later, like the kid said, you have 2 more days. His time was from Friday till Sunday. My time is Thursday to Saturday, depending on where you're at in the United States. So 2 days from these hit. So this is what I'm estimating based on the tsunamis, based on what I know. Okay, check this out. This was today. So I'm thinking about all this stuff. I'm driving. I have this all the time. I mean, it is uncanny. And I probably noticed 2 license plates today. I mean, literally. And one was like nothing. It just happened to be looking at it. It was right in front of me. And this one was right in front of me. By the way, this splotch right there is a bug that splattered on my windshield. And it looks really big right here, but it wasn't that big because I stopped at a stop sign, and this was right here, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I took a picture real quick, and then I zoomed it up real big. But this is what happened. I see this in front of me, and I'm going, oh, that's crazy. 7, 2 plus 2 is 4, July 4th, that's crazy. And then I remember thinking, like I've done many times on license plates and different things, what if DGL means something? And you wouldn't believe D is the 4th letter, G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and L is the 12th letter of the alphabet. So we have 4th of July, and what's 12? Well, 2019 could be easily, this is their code, and apparently God's using it too. 2 plus 1 plus 9, and of course 0 is nothing in the code, whatever. 2 plus 1 plus 9 is 12. So that is saying 4th of July 2019, and it's reconfirmed over here by July 4th. Are you kidding me? What are the chances? I'm about to do this video today, a few hours ago, and I'm driving, and I happen to look at this. I mean, literally, it's not, here's my babies in the background. And I happen to be looking at this, and I go, oh, that's crazy, 2274. And then I go, what if this means something? And I just do it real quick in my head. D equals 4, G is 7, L is 12. Oh my goodness. 4th of July, 2019, 7-4. Isn't that crazy? What? So I'm showing you evidence, times, dates, all this stuff, and my personal experience. It's crazy. So look at this. Also, I've got more stuff to hit you with. This is crazy. Okay, so we got basically, if you go now, this shows me that the founding of this country was all planned, and people who know that Masons founded this country as freedom from religion so they can practice their evil sorcery. And Washington was definitely a Mason, a 33 degree Mason. A lot of the founders of the country, probably 20 some of them were Masons, or if not more. I don't know exactly, and it's all in Washington D.C. Like I showed you, the streets and everything. Are you kidding me? A pentagram upside down, the top of the pentagram or I should say the bottom of it, touches the White House, and all this stuff. This is not by coincidence, okay? But if you take 4th of July, 1776, which is actually 1776 is 888 plus 888. Okay, 1776 is 888 plus 888, and Hurricane Hector, HH, which is 88, went over Fissure 8 on 8818, and that represents the beginning and end of the United States. So the end of the United States is going to be on, and the reason why I have July 5th is because it's at 3 a.m. because that's the East Coast time. And so July 5th would be the 3 a.m. or 3:02, I guess, according to the Swedish boy's dream. July 5th would be so I'm going from July 4th, 1776 to July 5th, okay, which is still 4th of July in Hawaii at this exact time. So that's still the United States. It's 88,000 days, and it's 88,754 days. Well, there's the 88. And again, Hawaii's area code is 808. Hurricane Hector was HH, which is 88. Donald Trump, his name Trump equals, in simple gematria, equals 88. There's so many. Basically, Hawaii is 88. It's crazy. There's so many things. So you have 88,754. Now, this is going to blow your mind. Backwards, 5 plus 4 is 9. 7 plus 8 plus 8 is 23. Are you kidding me? There's 923 again. Again. Wow. Are you kidding me? Okay, so, yeah, let's grab that. All right, so look at this. And then, now this is going to be mind blower too. Oop, I'm almost done here. Now look at this. Okay, stop. All right, so again, the yellow is the Gregorian, so I'm going to show you the Gregorian first. So you have July 4th and 5th. This will blow your mind. July 4th and 5th equal Chinese lunar calendar 6th month, 2nd and 3rd day. 6th month, right here, 6th month, 2nd lines up with the 4th, 3rd lines up with the 5th. This is 623. Amazing. Again. Are you following me? Are you kidding me? 623 again, which represents, so 623 is July 4th, yeah, and 5th, okay? Like I've shown, a little after 9 p.m. or 9:02 p.m. on Hawaii Standard Time, and then same time, same moment in time, but in a different day is 3:02. I'm gonna go by the Swedish boy's dream. 3:02 a.m. on East Coast is Chinese lunar calendar 6th month, 2nd and 3rd day. Amazing. Jesus, you are so awesome. I hope you help people see this. In Jesus' name, please, God, help people see this. Open their eyes. In Jesus' name, I pray over this. And I ask each one of you, please, God, share this with as many people as possible and get to people who have YouTube channels and ask them to mirror this and let me know or whatever, and I will send them the file and do this before this happens. And I'm going to tell you the benefit of this. Listen, if this happens and people see this, even if they don't believe it, they could go, listen, you could make a huge impact in someone's life that doesn't believe anything. Or, maybe there's relatives of yours or whatever. Send them this, or give them this, send this link, or tell them to go here to my channel or to someone else, whatever. But we'll have them watch this video somehow. And if they don't, who cares if they see it and they don't like it? At least they watch. Just have them commit to watching the whole thing. And say, if you want to laugh at it and say, you're whatever. But I'm telling you, some of these people that are even hard-hearted or they won't listen, if they watch this, and then when it happens, this will seed something in their heart and show them that Jesus, and I'm saying it right now to them, watching it now in the future, Jesus showed me this to show you before it happened, because he loves you and he cares about you. So I'm asking each one of you that sees this to spread this, and then whoever gets it from there, spread it again and spread it again until July 4th and 5th. I'm begging you. And if nothing happens, it doesn't happen. No skin, nothing lost. No skin in the game, really. It doesn't matter. But if it happens, and you see some truth in this, and I've brought enough, as a prosecutor would bring a case before a jury, and it's enough reasonable doubt that you would bring this to people or have them see it and put it in their heart. Because you know what? When this stuff starts happening, people are going to freak out. And they're not going to know what's end is up. And there's going to be bam, 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 bam. I haven't even mentioned all the stuff's going to happen. There's going to be there's probably going to be Orville Dam's going to break. Probably Hoover Dam's going to break because it's water. Maybe the same day. I don't know. Other things are going to happen. World War III is going to start. All kinds of stuff. And a lot of people are going to be left here. And they're going to need some comfort. If they know this is going on, they might think, oh, Jesus told my brother who gave me this from this guy, maybe Jesus is real. Maybe they'll go to him. Anyway, this is from Jesus. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Okay, last thing I'm going to show you. And this is an ode to my wife who bore our twins, which are representations of yin and yang, as I've shared in my videos. And it's crazy. When they were born and everything, it's just, God is so amazing. Yin and yang is representing of the dark and the light, and a birth. I'm not saying my kids are dark and light. I'm just saying you have to watch some of my other videos and you'll see what I'm saying. It's God's wonderful grace that I was talking about twin births way before we were even pregnant, and way before even before that, before we even knew twins, and way before that we knew we were even pregnant. And God brought twins, and so it's amazing. Okay, so right here, so what I said is this video came out in 2012, but Trump is right here. Okay, there's his hair, his famous hair that flaps in the wind and all kinds of stuff is right there. These are all presidents behind her, and they all go through a ritual called the raising of Osiris every presidential inauguration, which is on that mall, that Washington Mall, which overlooks that phallic symbol with the vesica Pisces, which is the female and the male parts, and then the state capitol, which is basically the pregnant belly, which is, so each president goes through this ritual in their inauguration in longing for the day of the final one that's about to happen on 4th of July, with President Trump saying, inviting people there. Okay, in fact, these are all presidents. In fact, right here, this is Reagan, and he's got a bandage wrapped around him because he was shot. And right here, it looks like from this side, when you look at it from the front, it looks like an alien, and there's just an eye on this side. And Reagan's notorious for being in front of the UN saying that he often thinks that if there was alien invasion or something, that the world would unite. And he was one of those people too. And down here is the yin and yang symbol on his head. And this is Carter, because he had a cat named Yin Yang. Anyway, this is Trump, and he's got his hands in a triangle. And I'm going to show you this. There it is. And you can look all up. Do a Google search for when Trump sits down. You will see he does this triangle thing. And this is very occultic, this triangle. And I'm going to show you. Check this out even more. Look at all these people. Morpheus. Look at that nugget investor dude. Look at Adolf Hitler doing it right side up. Look at him doing it right side up. Look at these nuggets here. Turkey, Germany, Trump. Entertainers doing up, doing it down. This is all occultic. And this has to do with the conception. Right here. Probably actually conception and birth. It's male, female. And that's in this symbol of the star of Molech. It's male and female. Conception from male and female. It's all there. These people are doing it in front of your face. And this guy, Jay-Z, has got his eye in the triangle. And all these people doing it here and here and here and here. And Trump's doing it right here. Okay? It's obvious right in front of your face. Hidden in plain sight, as they would say. Right there. What more evidence do you need? Seriously. Now, why I'm showing you this is because in another scene, there's the Antichrist. He's in a boat, and of course it's an Egyptian boat, which is about the underworld and all this other kind of stuff. It's about his birth, the Antichrist birth, which is Barack Obama, of course, like I've said. Then all these fish jump into the boat. Now, these fish are what? These are sheep's head fish, and facts about the fish with human teeth. Look, the sheephead fish has teeth that looks like human teeth. See it? Look at that. Because these are representing Christians, because they're sheephead, sheep jumping into the Antichrist boat. There's a sheephead fish right here. And they're somewhat common in New York as well. Look at sheep's head fish jumping in the Antichrist boat, and sheep. There's going to be sheep Christians who don't go in the rapture because they don't really trust Christ and they don't walk with Jesus. They're going to jump into the Antichrist boat. And this is an ode to my wife again. My wife saw this and it blew my mind. Here's Trump. And now I saw this fish right here and I didn't know what it meant. But when she pointed out, it blew my mind. There is a sheep's. See, there's the tail of the fish. There's the mouth. And look, Trump is guiding it with his triangular, stupid hands. Okay? And it's like a hook in the mouth of the sheephead fish. Look at this. You got black and white, kind of like stripes in a weird sense. Stripes, black and white right here, making the fish. That is a sheephead fish. Right here. And this is another example. By the way, like I said, this came out in 2012, and it took 5 years to make. So at least by 2007, they knew, whoever made this, the main guy with Heliofont and the other people, and Demon, they knew that Trump was going to be a president back in as early as 2007. This is Kennedy. He's got a hole in the head. He's been silenced. His mouth is crossed out. He's got sneakers. Anyway, that's actually for the marathon that goes on, the Kennedy marathon. Anyway, my daughter kind of found out. Anyway, these are all presidents. These are the Bushes. They're both connected. Their heads are connected because they're both Bush. And by the way, like I said in my last video, this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's the slash. And then these two are connected. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 3 right here. 6, 2, 3. About the birth of the Antichrist, because this apple drops at the birth. This is absolutely crazy. And right here, this fish right here is a sheep's head fish, because you have a kind of, sort of, in a hidden way, black and white stripes kind of hidden. That's a stripe, kind of. Or black and white right here on this fish with a tail right here. Okay, and guess what? Trump is leading them astray. And look at this. This is Obama. He's got the ultraviolet, like I've mentioned 1,000 times in my videos. He's got the ears. Obama's known for his ears, and he's the only president that shows his ears. And he's got an L and a C sideways right here. That's 12. L is 12th letter of the alphabet. C is 3. That's Revelation 12:3, which reveals the dragon. And when Obama earlier, he's got the tassel. It touches, while he's laughing and stuff, it touches the dragon. He is the dragon. And guess what? The sheep are at his feet right here. His feet are molding into the sheep. And that's the scene right here where they're at his feet. Right there. The sheep are at his feet. And that is Obama right there. And by the way, he's also the 6 in 623. This is him. If anybody knows, this looks like this barbed wire is scraping his face. And he's going, I'm guessing that he's going no several times, and that's scraping his face. And he goes up and down twice, and that might be yes. But I don't know what that exactly means. If anybody knows, let me know. It's pretty crazy. I think I'm showing you a lot of information, and this is nuts. Okay, so I'm asking every one of you. This is all hitting 623, which I'm showing you is July 4th and 5th. It's, oh man, I'm at a loss right now. Please share this with as many people as possible. If you can get these people to put it on their channels, whatever, however you need, put it on disc, give it to your friends and neighbors. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do, because I'm telling you, you could actually go fishing for people for the Lord if you present them with this. I'm telling you, please, for your own sake, for their sakes, please consider this. I have no doubt there's going to be an attack on July 4th/5th, and there's going to be far more after that. So that's all I have to say. And my YouTube channel is The Exalted Lamb #1, The Exalted Lamb 1. So if you want to check out any of my videos, if anybody else is showing this video, please do that, because they're all pointing to this. This is the culmination of all my work since the Lord told me about this, and I didn't even realize until months later, on Barack Obama's last birthday. The next day I did my first video about Hurricane Hector and had no idea what I was in for 11 months later. So God bless you. Please let Jesus guide you. He is your answer to everything. He is my answer. He will be your answer if you let him be. This is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.